National Cross Country Championship season began in late February, there were a lot of news. A new year, a new decade, new sponsors for some, and newfound hope for many others. The big question, would a new champion emerge? Would anyone step up to the challenge of Walker Fowler in his half-decade of total domination? So far this season, has seen challenges from a former champ, today's top challengers, and challenges from the rising stars of tomorrow, but no one can stop the force of Fowler.
Are you ready to go GNCC Racing?
Welcome to GNCC on RacerTV. I'm Rodney Tomlin here from Aonia Pass for a deja vu. It's back-to-back rounds here at Washington, Georgia, in this wonderful facility. A lot of different looks here. Leaves are back on the trees. It's a lot drier and dustier. And we're in a totally different part of the property to get things off and started. But one thing remains the same. Can anyone stop Walker Fowler in this total dominance that has began here in the 2020 season? He's hoping for a perfect season, but don't want to start talking about it just yet. Here's the way things looked the last time we were here at Aonia Pass as we take a look at the specialized race recap. Early lead went off to the number 3 Phoenix Racing Honda of Chris Boris, picking up that back here in the 2020 season, making that big switch. It looks like things are starting to look pretty good for him on that machine. Keeping a close toe with Walker Fowler for a little while there in lap number 1, but as Walker Fowler always does in these conditions, finds a place to stretch his legs, and well, that's what he began to do, stretch it right on out, opening up that lead over the rest of the field, leaving the rest of the field to pick up the pieces. Chris Boris looked like he was going to be a dominating factor himself throughout the course of the day, but it wasn't long before the Bidwell bullet, Bryson Neal, started making his shots, found himself into the 3rd place position, and started to close in on the former 6-time GNCC champion of Chris Boris on lap number 1. Well, after a little battle there between those two, it was the number 2 of Bryson Neal taking over the number 2 spot, and solidly back in the number 3 spot was Chris Boris, where he ran the rest of the day. He did finish right down to the checkers with Jared McClure, but was still able to take the 3rd place position, but no one was stopping Walker Fowler. Look at results from the last time we were here in Georgia. Fowler, Neal, Boris, McClure, and Adam Hill rounded out the top 5. And in talking with Walker Fowler after the race, another day at the office.
Honestly, other than this place being either a swamp or like it was today, it was about normal. The only dusty spots were these open sections, but you know, the woods were about prime. It's just real spongy soil. You can kind of fight the machine all day, real hard to steer. But man, this bike was working as good as it could. And like I said, the conditions are just tough. It's tough for this is a track where a big, strong guy like Taylor Kaiser used to be, or you know, Bryson Neal, these bigger guys. It definitely caters to them. But obviously, Bryson had a real good last lap. I didn't feel like I lost that much time, but I guess I did. But like I said last race, it doesn't matter if you win by 1 minute or 1 second. Win's a win, and you know, we just keep clicking these things off. That's what champions do. We put ourselves in a position to win, and we do our job.
The job today consists of 2 hours through a mix of sand and mud in the Aonia Pass Motocross Park, and of course 11.5 miles of race course. And last time we were here, it was perfect conditions. A little bit of dust in the fields, but soft and spongy in the woods. A far cry different today is it's a lot drier in the woods today and a lot drier out in these open field sections. But Walker Fowler does it. He grabs that early lead once again. Looks like he's going in the checkout Charlie mode already here in the early part of lap number 1, leading into the woods by about 4 or 5 bike lengths. But he's got that number 2 of Bryson Neal hot on his heels. And as I said, remember the conditions a couple of months ago when we were here, soft and spongy, as Walker Fowler talked about it in his post-race interview. It is dry and dusty and hard-packed, even in these wood sections now. So vision is going to be a little bit of a difficulty today. Another thing that folks ought to take a look at is the possibility of these machines sucking in the dirt and slowing their progress down. It's going to be an interesting race as we drop the green flag on the XC2 Pro-Am class, and Drew Landers getting the whole shot on this one. This is the WFR Land Mills XC off-road ride, and of course Austin Abney back there. It looks like also Brandon Owens putting his bid out there for the #1 spot here in the early part of the race as well, as we pick the action back up with the XC1 Pro Class leader Walker Fowler, and already with these conditions has been able to amass a fairly comfortable lead over Bryce Neal back there in the #2 spot. Neal's also got a little bit of comfort starting to open up over third place rider Hunter Hart. Hunter, though, looking like he's trying to stick close, as is the former 6-time champ Chris Borich. Looks like Adam McGill, the Gator, chomping back there a little bit as these riders riding nose to tail. We see riders like Cole Richards and John Glada, Jared McClure, Josh Merritt, all duking it out back there. But will anyone be able to match the pace of Walker Fowler? Slow down. Here's the Bulldogs. Look around and find out. Coverage of the 2020 Grand National Cross Country Series on MAVTV is brought to you in part by Specialized Turbo E-Bikes. It's you, only faster. Rocky Mountain ATV MC, get ready. And by Yamaha, revs your heart. Welcome back to Aonia Pass here for the Bulldog GNCC round number 4 of the Grand National Cross Country Championship Series, presented by Specialized, an AMA National Championship where Walker Fowler has began yet another day of domination as far as this race is concerned. A little dusty conditions out here today as opposed to what we saw a few weeks ago when we were here for the first running at Aonia Pass, but things have picked up here pretty tightly on the first couple of laps. Bryce Neal up to the #2 spot. Right behind him, the youngster of Hunter Hart, who took that win, the last race win at Ironman in the 2019 season. We see that Chris Borge back there in the #4 spot, still close in tow. We see that Adam McGill, the 521 machine, is also making his push there. Looks like the riders really haven't stretched out a whole lot other than your leader, Walker Fowler. He's pretty much the rider that has distanced himself from the rest of the pack, and we say it time and time again, and it sounds like a broken record, that this is what Walker Fowler likes to do. He likes to get himself out front, stretch his legs, set the pace there on the first couple of laps, and then rest and relax and ride the remainder of the race. But sometimes it don't necessarily work out like that. But today's conditions might bode well for that to happen with these dusty conditions. You do see some water in the low-lying areas, and that's the only mud you're going to see out here. It's dusty in the woods. It's dusty out in the open field. So basically, my friends, vision is going to be a big hindrance, but vision is not the only thing these riders have got to worry about. They got to worry about sucking up that dust into their air breathers and choking out their machines, all the while not only preparing for dust today, but they also got to remember there's wet conditions out there. So a lot of bike prep going into this race day today. Ooh, a little pass already taking place back there as John Glada makes his way around Devin Feehan. Now we look a little further back in the field. This is a battle for, I think, the 8th, 9th, and 10th. Johnny Gallagher, Wesley Wolf, and also the number 11 of Josh Merritt making their way through in the 8th, 9th, and 10th place positions here on lap number 1. Also here on lap number 1, a little further ahead, Walker Fowler continuing to stretch things out down there. So I don't think, unless there's a mechanical issue or a major miscalculation on the part of Walker Fowler with the pace that he's setting here early on in this race, I don't know if anybody's going to be able to catch him. I know that Bryson Neal is one of those riders that is notorious for digging deep and able to bridge gaps late in the race, but I'm not even sure he's going to be able to do that. Cole Richardson so far back right now, not sure he's going to be able to do that. But I will say this, Bryson Neal's got that pressure coming in from the number 7 of Hunter Hart there on occasion, and I have to wonder, does Hunter Hart in his youth and, well, just wild experience working his way up through the amateur ranks maybe have a little something in the tank to throw at the number 2 of Bryson Neal for second, then maybe try to bridge that gap that is really starting to widen quite a bit over the rest of the field. About 15 seconds here at this juncture of the race between the number 1 and the number 2. And look at this, we've got a switch in the number 2 position as Bryson Neal now finds himself in the number 3 spot. And I was talking about the aggression and the pushes by that youngster, the number 7 of Hunter Hart. Well, he pulls the trigger on that one, gets around Bryson Neal, and now takes over the number 2 spot. And as we check in with the 521, Adam McGill, looks like he's taken over the number 4 spot away from the number 3 of Chris Borge. And Borge has got about 3 riders right there knocking on the door for that top 5 position. We're looking back there at riders like Jared McClure, also John Glotta Jr. working his way up into the mix of things. So this is going to get pretty exciting as this race day wears on. Cole Richardson also a part of that train of riders that are making their way through the woods. He's moved up to the 8th place position. Not a good start for the Cole train, but definitely given a little more breathing room for your rider up front, Walker Fowler, who notes him as one of the toughest challengers he has on the race course today. Walker Fowler continues to lead this one here on lap number 2, just a little over 50 seconds. Seems like a big gap, but somebody's going to try to bridge it. Who's it going to be? Stick around to find out. Welcome back to GNCC on MAVTV as we pick up the highlights from round 4 action. This is the second round of the ATV GNCC, the electric mountain bike GNCC races, the new national championship where we had nearly 60 riders turning out for pro, amateur, women, senior classes, and more. And of course, all eyes on Hot Rod Charlie Mullins. Plus, we had a host of other riders, amateur, super senior, women's class riders, and more. And also the return of Ben Kelly, who would not be racing the motorcycle on Sunday, but would be racing the MTV GNCC. The toughest and stiffest competition that Hot Rod Charlie Mullins has seen throughout his entire tenure of this EMTB GNCC championship came from an unexpected and new arrival on the EMTB GNCC tour. We had some great racing in the amateur classes, and good racing in the youth classes where we saw Barry Hawk's son Talon and Randy Hawkins' son Mitchell go head-to-head literally right down to almost the final few feet of that race. And Mitchell Hawkins was able to come out victorious as far as the youth class was concerned, but back up front, it was the intense battle between Hot Rod Charlie Mullins and, as we said, Ben Kelly. Kelly coming through on the number 99, that shoulder entry, taking him from the two-wheel motorized competition, but still training and has been released to come out and do a little bit of racing. Nonetheless, Hot Rod Charlie Mullins still took the win. Ben Kelly took a 2nd place position. And back in that number 3 position, the man of action himself, John Ayers Jr., taking a 3rd place position finish at the EMTB GNCC as we pick the action back up on the course here for the ATV battle. And Walker Fowler, now nearly a minute over the rest of the field here on lap number 3, has got his sight set on checkers, but the only thing that stands between him and that is about an hour's worth of race time out here. Also the hot, dry, dusty conditions of this Aonia Pass Motocross Park. And if he has anything to say about it, Hunter Hart would like to bridge that gap and mount the challenge for the checkers whenever they finally fly. But the thing about it is, now that he's in 2nd place, he has a whole 1 minute and 20 seconds to have to try to make up on the defending GNCC champion. And he's also got riders like Bryson Neal still back there to contend with. Now, Neal back in the number 3 position. Looks like he's dropped off the pace about 15 seconds behind the number 7 machine of Hart. But at the same time, looks like maybe some struggles starting to arise for the number 2 machine, as getting reports that he may be having some front brake or front wheel issues of some sorts, but no issues for Walker Fowler as he continues to dominate. We're talking about a win right now, and we're looking at nearly a minute and 30 seconds over the number 7 of Hunter Hart here on lap number 3. Adam McGill now has gotten around. Now, we said that we knew that there was some issues taking place back there for the number 2 of Bryson Neal, but they may have been a lot worse than what we even recognized or realized, because not only did he lose time, he's lost position now. The number 521 of the Gator, Adam McGill, up to a 3rd place position. So we've seen a lot of position changes, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place, and I'm back all the way to probably 11th or 12th place position here in this XC1 Pro class. But The only thing that has remained the same and the only consistent today has been the number 1 of Walker Fowler. And reports now that Cole Richardson working his way up through the pack as he has, well, started out in a 9th place position and worked all the way up to a 4th place position. We're getting reports that he is closing in on the 5:21 of Adam McGill for that 3rd place position here late in lap number 3. Still watching Walker Fowler as it is poetry in motion through these Georgia woods. Again, looking at the conditions as opposed to 8 weeks ago when we were here. Perfect conditions, soft, loamy woods. These are hard packed, these are dry, these are dusty, and it is allowing Walker Fowler a chance to get out and stretch those legs. The dust settles quite a bit by the time Hunter Hart makes his way into the area, so he is really trying to bridge that gap and make up some time. But reports are that Cole Richardson's working his way up through the pack and now moved into the number 3 spot, and I think that Walker Fowler has got that word as well, so he's not laying back any in this Bulldog GNCC. He's still trying to maintain the veracity of the pace that he's got set out front, and these guys right now just can't seem to match it. Well, if they match the pace, they're not able to bridge the gap. They let Walker get away way too early. Look at that. Bryson Neal's dropped way off the pace, back to a number 5 position. What's going on here at the Bulldog GNCC? Stick around to find out.
Coverage of the 2020 Grand National Cross Country Series on MAVTV is brought to you in part by Specialized Turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. Rocky Mountain ATV MC, get ready. And by Yamaha, revs your heart.
Back at Aonia Pass for round number 4 of the Bulldog GNCC as we roll in and through the 2020 GNCC Series, and Walker Fowler rolls through the pro pits at a 1 minute and 45-second lead here in the last lap of racing. Walker really putting the hammer down out there and stretching it out over the rest of the field. 2nd place position, that young Hunter Hart with Cole Richardson closing in hard and fast. Richardson started out way back in a 9th place position at the end of lap number 1, so he's had a long road to hoe, so to speak, but he is now moved up into a solid 3rd place position, and reports are that he is closing in on the number 2 of Hunter Hart and could mount a challenge by the end of this race. Now, as we look at Hart here on the track right now, it doesn't appear that there's a whole lot of competition coming in, but already less than 10 seconds back now is the number 4 machine. Again, Walker Fowler well over 1 minute and 30 seconds out ahead of the rest of the field right now, so he's pretty much got this one on cruise control. Into the checker flag for win number 59 for Walker Fowler as he makes his bid for championship number 6. We caught up with the champ.
Yeah, absolutely, Rodney. It was a blast. Got off to a great start. I knew today with this dust and, the competition after 8 weeks to get more prepared, that they were going to be coming after me, and I feel like I've done my part to stay just, 1 step ahead yet again. Got off to a great start. That Moto Experts motor fired up by the anti-gravity battery kit, and that Yamaha, they just pulled like a son of a gun all the way to that first corner, and then I knew if I could just be smart and smooth, get in the woods, make some dust, we were going to be golden. And I think by about we started at 2, so maybe by the 5-mile marker I was out of sight, and I just knew to push, but my hot light came on, and it started kind of trying to seize up, and I was getting a little nervous. I could smell it burn some oil and pushing a little coolant, and I'm like, man, I know. Before the race, I swore we had a radiator fan issue, and Mark just convinced me it was good. But I pulled in the first lap to the pits here. We pulled our radiator blocker off, and I went back out and I got the hot light to go out, but we had no radiator fan the whole race. And I kind of babied it for an hour and a half, and then that last lap, I'm glad we didn't run 5 laps. It's just luck of the draw. It would have been a long day, but it got to the finish. It was not happy, and I did have a crash about 3 miles from the finish. I'm all right, a little beat up, and the bike's a little bent up, not running good, but hey, we did our part in the beginning to get that thing a gap to make mistakes and still get it to the finish line. So overall, a great day.
Well, congratulations to Walker Fowler on the win as Cole Richardson finds himself into the number 2 spot around the young Hunter Hart. Looks like experience pays off once again for the Cole train. A number 2 spot here in Georgia with the young gun of Hunter Hart taking the number 3 position.
we got off to, I feel like a good jump, but, we kind of got pinched. The one left and right of me kind of came in on me, and, I had to let off. And, then we went to go tuck in the woods, and there was a little bit of a bottleneck, and I kind of got held up there. And, I don't even know what position I was. I just knew it was going to be a long day. It's hot. We had a long time off, and, I knew we was going to have a lot of ground to make up. I wasn't sure who was where, and obviously I knew Walker was probably out front. He always gets good starts, and, we just kept chucking away. Me and Guada had a really good battle going, and, just little by little, we just kept chugging and chugging. I knew my fitness and speed would be there, towards the end, and, next thing you know, we got into third after we pitted, and, I was content with that. Last race didn't go very well, here, and, I knew I was in front of the people that, were behind me in points. So, I was really content with third. And, but, we just kept chucking, it's a never give up attitude. And, we ended up catching Hunter, and I actually passed Hunter on the line that, Glada passed me on twice. Yeah, twice. So, it actually came in handy, and, he was able just to kind of, stick it to the end there and get second.
Well, Walker Fowler's just had chance to win, 1 minute and 45 seconds in the end. Cole Bridges in second, Hunter Hart in third. Bryson Neal holds on for a fourth after an early challenge, and the young gun, the rookie, John Blada Jr. rounds out the top 5.
Yeah, thank you guys. It was definitely awesome. I had a good start. I started out the day right about third, and then we ended up we followed Bryson there for the first 2 laps, then he tagged a tree. I was able to get around him, and then I kind of rode alone for the rest of the day, and then I ended up just kind of made a little bit of a rookie mistake on the last lap. I thought I had a little bit more time than I did. And, yeah, Cole got me in the quick section right at the 10, and I was like, damn it. And we ended up just ran right with him on the last lap and just couldn't make a pass on the last lap. But no, it was a good day. Definitely a good day.
Definitely a good day, says the young Hunter Hart. As we take a look at the specialized race recap, it was a wire-to-wire day for the number 1 of the Walker Fowlers. He got the all-balls whole shot in the early part of this race and began the total domination. He stretched things out over 30 seconds there on the first lap. He left the rest of the field to battle back there. Bryson Neal in early second place position over number 7 of Hunter Hart right there in the shadows pretty much the entire time that the number 2 was holding on to that position. Now, as the race wore on, looks like Bryson Neal ran into some sort of technical issue, had an extended pit stop trying to fix something there on the front wheel. I don't know if it's a brake or a tire or whatever, but in the meantime, he drops him back several positions, moves Hunter Hart up to the number 2 position. Of course, Walker Fowler takes the win, but on the last lap, Cole Richardson working up from a 9th place position finish to track down the number 7 of Hunter Hart here late in the race, and was able to make the pass and steal away the spot for 2nd place position. But in the end, Hunter Hart still a stellar day, holding on to a top 3 overall position. That's going to wrap it up here from the Aonia Pass and the Bulldog GNCC. For the latest GNCC news and notes, be sure and visit GNCCRacing.com. We'll be back with more GNCC Racing highlights and racing as the season progresses. Stick around here on MAVTV to check that out. Until then, I'm Rodney Tomlin. Have a great day.